Hi, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Finding Data Friends. We are lucky enough to be joined by a brand new guest today. Andy, thanks for joining us. Do you want to tell everyone a bit about yourself?
All right, well, thanks for having me, Jess and Ben. I am a senior data platform engineer. I've been aware of and a member of the SQL Server community since 2012. I've been in IT since the previous millennium. Uh, at, it,
I like
I,
that.
yeah, I used to say it was since last century, and then I was reminded by Ed Pollack about a month ago. Yeah, it's really the previous millennium. I said, oh yeah, I gotta throw it in there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it throws people off when I say it, especially younger folks, which we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Speaking of
Uh,
those younger folks, since neither of you have been at FabCon, rude things have happened there last month.
Uh-oh.
So I'm standing there chatting to one of my friends, Abby, and for some reason I don't even know how we got there. We're talking about age, and he's like, "Well, I mean, Ben, we're only 1 year apart," and I was like, "I'm pretty sure you're way younger than me. How are we 1 year apart?" And he's like, "Well, Ben, I started. I was born the year after you started sequels, so there we go." Um,
ouch.
Whoopsies.
Yeah, that happened to me at a previous job. I was talking to one of our developers, and I was talking about how I got started many years ago doing classic ASP, and I was a developer before I was a
isn't that the
DBA,
best?
and he said, "Oh, you mean ASP.NET 1.0?"
No.
And my heart broke. I said, "No, I was at one of the conferences where they showed off ASP.NET before it was called ASP.NET." So I had to explain to him what classic ASP was and how I'm from the olden times.
That's great.
I actually used that
Nice.
in one of my demos at FabCon, where I'm doing like vector searches and stuff. And my query against Stack Overflow is I want to learn about building a website using active server pages in Visual Basic. So
It was a simpler time.
Retro. Nice. Nice. Andy, are you done with your introduction before Ben sidetracked us, or do you have more
Oh,
interesting things to tell us?
so more interesting things.
sidetracked, I added to the conversation.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, I don't want to derail the other questions. So anything else I do in the intro is going to kind of derail from there. So yeah, I
All
think
right.
think
Let's
we're
not
good
do
with the
that.
intro.
No, let's not do that. We don't want to ruin the whole thing for sure. Let's
Nah.
let's move on to the first question
Yes.
then,
All right.
which you said you've been in data and in IT for a while, so this might be a tricky question for you. But what's your favorite data thing?
So it's it's actually it's not something that's been around. Well, it's been almost 10 years now. It's DBA tools. I got to
Nice.
give a shout out to DBA
Woo.
tools. Makes us all look like wizards, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually discovered it. We were in the middle of an upgrade project, and we were doing we had to migrate a database, for the big corporate system. Of course, big at that time was maybe a couple of gigs. It wasn't that big, and so we had the whole process written out. We had pages and pages. We have to do this. We have to do that. We're about 6 weeks away from implementation day, and I found out about DBA tools. And and I saw this one function. I'm like, oh, that does everything for me. But we're 6 weeks away from doing the actual migration, so we decided no, we can't change things now. We have it all figured out. We're not going to change plans now. But after that job, I wasn't really a DBA at that point. It's more like a dev DBA
Mm-hmm.
and an integrator. My next job, I was production DBA, and it was everywhere I could work DBA tools in. That's what I was doing. We had a the what really blew people away the very first time was they just needed a database copied, and I said, okay. I just turned around and started typing. I said, yeah, it'll be done by the time you get back to your desk. They said, what do you mean? I said, yeah, I just did the copy with copy DBA database. And they said, that's supposed to take hours. I said, no, it doesn't take hours. And then a few weeks later, we actually had to do a migration of our dev server, our dev instance, and we did it in. I think we had maybe 20 minutes of downtime for the developers, and they said, "Wow,
That's
that was amazing."
unacceptable.
And it was at like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday,
No
um,
one was there yet.
and and they said, "Wow." everything's working right. We didn't expect that. I said, why? They said, well, in the past, it's taken us 2 weeks to migrate stuff. I said,
Mm.
why? So yeah, so DBA tools. I've been working with it for, see, it's 2025 now. So 8 9 years now. It's got to be getting close to, and I keep finding new things in it, and yeah, it's also gotten me to learn more about PowerShell and how to improve my own scripting, which is going to come in real handy, everywhere.
Hmm.
So that it's opened a lot of doors for me, and I don't know where I'd be without it.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like that about DBA tools too. Like I'm still finding commands I didn't know exist. I'm still making people be like, "Wait, how did you do that?" Like, "Oh, it's just a little command, you know?" And there are some that I don't even remember like the logic behind them, like the some of the test commands that check if things are in the like best practice state. Like I
Yep.
don't remember how you calculate the like max memory value or like any of those other values that you want to kind of set. And DBA tools will just do the magic and be like, "Oh, it should be this." Like, cool.
Yep. And do you find yourself you start writing your own function for something, and you get about 2 3 hours into it, and you say, "Wait a minute, I should go look," and it's already done in DBA tools.
Yep. Exactly. I love that too.
Quick
It's cool.
question for you, Jess. Out of
Mhm.
those many commands that you find that you didn't know existed, how many of those did you actually write yourself?
You know, I did find that has happened to me before. Like, oh, I wonder if this is in there, and then you look and you're like, oh man, well, I apparently contributed to this command. But there's so many, right? And one of my favorite stories about it is when I got involved in DBA tools. I wrote the backup and restore DB certificate commands or backup restore certificate commands, and I wrote them for the very specific use case I needed. But if you look at those functions today, people have taken them and been like, oh, but I also need to be able to do it from this scenario, or I need to be able to do that, and we should check this. It's like that script that I started with, if it had just been mine, it would still be exactly how it is. And now it's like a much
Yeah.
improved version. So yeah,
Yeah, I
super
love how
cool.
those things evolve over time, and yeah, you fixed your problem, and then that just gives somebody else the inspiration to go and fix their
Exactly.
problem and
Yeah,
adding
yeah.
to it, and it's outstanding.
Yeah, it's really cool. Love
My
it.
only criticism about DBA tools would be the naming in Aftermath because so many times I talk to people that are like, yeah, but that's not for me. I'm not a DBA. I'm like, I'm not a DBA.
Mm,
But the fact
yeah.
alone how freaking fast DBA tool can write something from PowerShell into a table and how freaking slow it is when you're using the native SQL Server module. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't need to be a DBA to load data to a table.
Yeah,
This would
and
Oh,
actually
and
be go on, Andy.
I was just gonna say the way when I pitch it to people, I tell them that if you're a data professional, if you're a
Hmm.
data professional working in the Microsoft space, you have to be looking at this module.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually a great idea for like a little series or like some posts or whatever about like non DBAs, DBA tools uses, you know,
yeah.
like writing tables or even getting information, right? Like getting the schema of tables that you need to interact with as a dev or whatever. Like there's probably tons of use cases.
Or collecting information for auditors. When
Oh
they
yeah,
need
that's
to
a good
know
one.
who has access to your servers, what levels of
Hmm.
access, and that sort of thing. Which I actually have a presentation about that that I gave at Past Summit on Tour back in August.
Nice.
And it went over pretty well. So
Yeah, I'm sure. Nice. Awesome.
All right. So when you're not getting excited about DBA tools, which we could probably all three of us and many others could get excited for many, many more hours and talk about so many instances where it actually either saved our life or at least made our life quite a bit easier. What's your favorite non-data thing, Andy?
my favorite non-data thing. This was really difficult for me to choose one because the two things split my year in half. But the one I'm going to go with is I am a mentor for our high school robotics team. We do the first robotics competition, which is actually an international organization, and every year we are given a new game, a new challenge that we have to conceive, design, build, test, debug, break, rebuild, debug again, re-break to a robot that's going to be about 150 pounds, and so what is that? That's about 75, 80 kilos.
Mhm.
And we have students designing and building it and operating it on the game field. Um, so we have the we find out what the game is the first or second weekend of January. We have competitions in March, or actually this year it's going into mid-April for us. So in addition to just getting the experience of building these things, these kids also get to experience crunch time. We've all been in crunch time on projects before. This
Mhm.
is 2.5 months of crunch time. And first actually they have levels all the way down to kindergarten. And so at the middle school level, they're building Lego robots with, it used to be Mindstorms, and now I think it's called Spike.
Ben's in.
And so the kids have to, it's a roughly 4x8 playing surface, and similar kind of thing. They have to design and build and program an autonomous Lego robot. So my whole family is into it. My son got into it, boy, 10, 12 years ago, very, very young. He took it all the way through high school. My daughter picked it up when she got to middle school. She did the Lego robotics. And now she's in high school, so she's on the high school team. And my wife joined because if she didn't, she'd never see her family. Uh,
Perfect.
because
I love that.
once we get into competition build season, we're putting in 15 to 20 hours a week with this.
That's wild.
And it's all day Saturday. It's 3-4 hours a night, at least twice a week. But the high school kids now are mentoring the middle school kids, so they're getting that experience as well.
Mhm.
Luckily, the seasons don't overlap too much. Um, so it's just been absolutely amazing watching these kids, especially with they're all now graduated, but the kids that my son started with way back in third, fourth, fifth grade, and seeing them progress all the way through the
Mhm.
program, and saying, "Wow, we never, we didn't." When you joined, you didn't even talk to anybody, and now here you are. You're leading the cheering section,
Mhm.
or you're really getting in the middle of everything. So
I was
it's
gonna I was going to
good.
say, I'm sure that you get way more than just learning how to build a robot. You said the crunch
Well,
time, it's like the teamwork, it's the
yeah,
like camaraderie, right? Around like team sports,
well,
basically. It's
it
super
is.
cool.
It's a team sport combined with theater. Like
Mhm.
we get a lot of kids who come in from theater club, and then they give up theater because it turns out that
'Cause
they're
robots are cool.
well, well. Unfortunately, theater and robotics season overlap to the point where the big show, the big high school show, is the same weekend as our competition. So
Mm.
you can't be in two places at once. Um, so we've had kids drop sports, we've had kids drop theater, and we accept anyone into the program. As long as you know which end of a screwdriver to hold on to, and sometimes we'll have to teach you how to do that. We will teach you the things you need to learn,
Yeah, that's cool.
and just
I love
seeing these
that.
kids grow and develop over the 4 to 7 years that they're in Lego and then high school is just tremendous.
That's
And
really
yeah,
cool.
we're like a family. We spend more time with each other during crunch time than we do with our families. Except for me, because my whole family's there already.
That's right. Combine the things together. It's
Yep.
perfect.
Nice. I'm going to have a lot of questions for you when I see you next month. But
I was
Okay.
gonna say, we talked about this, last pass a little bit about robotics and kind of what you've been up to, and it's super cool. So,
Yes.
looking
Yeah.
forward to
So
that.
yeah, definitely. I'm actually getting more involved with the Lego stuff this year because we're going to
and
be the
again,
main
I have so
drivers
many
for it.
questions.
Yeah, that is better for Ben. Amazing. Well, if you're spending a lot of time, a lot of Saturdays, a lot of evenings, you must get quite hungry when you're there working on the robots and hanging out. So that leads us perfectly into our final question, which is, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food, and I have two answers for this, but one of them I make, one of
Mm,
them I've only ever had once. So I got to go with the ones
okay,
that we
okay.
make. Um, Very often, when we need to feed a lot of people, and that'll happen during robotics season, it also happens during camping season, because we go camping with people. It's going to be pulled pork with mac and cheese,
Oh, yes.
and And the pulled pork is easy because we throw it on the smoker, and 8-9 hours later, it's done. The macaroni and cheese kind of fits into that because A, it's another comfort food, and B, if we're out camping and we're making it, the last step of doing homemade macaroni and cheese is you need to put it in the oven for a little while, right? So we take the pulled pork off the smoker, and then we put the macaroni and cheese in there, so it gets some of that smoky flavor with it as well.
Yes.
Can't make it often because my doctor says I can't, but it's not exactly the healthiest meal
It's
out
all
there.
about balance. It's cool. If you're camping or you're busy with robots, you're active. It's cool.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, for robotics, every week we have a different family provide lunch for the team, and so we'll do a big meal like that, and everybody's like, "Mr. Levy, when are you making your pulled pork? When are you bringing the macaroni and cheese?" I'm like, "Well,
Damn right.
that's in 2 weeks. Settle down. It's we got other good meals." So yeah, that's what we usually run to when we need to make a lot of food for people, and it's you know my wife's family, for them, food is love, and so we'll just do big meals, and that's an easy one to do big. So
Love it.
so we love making that.
Now I want mac and cheese.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, it's good macaroni and
Hungry.
cheese.
I love mac and cheese. Good times.
Anyways, I'm gonna get some mac and cheese because coincidentally we are at time. I mean, sometimes things I don't believe in coincidences,
Time
but
flies.
sometimes there's just the universe playing its magic as if it was DBA tools. And with that, Andy, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and Ben, I'm looking forward to seeing you next month. Jess, sorry we won't get to see you there, but I'm sure our paths will cross again soon.
I hope so.
With that, thank you everyone for watching.
Great.
Thanks again, Andy. Thank you, Jess, and we see you next week.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.